Time to look back on events that happened during February, and with me is an online gaming expert, but well known to us, Michael Josem, for many different interviews about Airbnb and all sorts over the years. But I must start by, this is interesting, that you have decided that you want to become an Isle of Man citizen. That's pretty interesting. I mean, you're going through a test, you've got to pay some money, and you want to be known as a Manxman or whatever it would be, I don't know, Isle of Man resident?
It would be, yes.
Why?
Why? Because I think that in 2019, there are three groups of people. There's a wonderful article that I read recently, talked about the mobile, the rooted, and the stuck. And there's a group of people, in 20s, 30s, 40s, successful careers, traveling the world, doing all sorts of wonderful things in London to New York to Hong Kong to Sydney to wherever. And talking about a lot of these people are very successful in their careers, but lack a real connection to their community. And as someone who's, as you can tell by the way I speak funny, originally from elsewhere, I think there is a real value in being rooted to a community. And so hence that's why I've made the Isle of Man my home. So
you give up your Australian passport and you'll get a Manx one? Or do you keep both?
I think I would retain my Australian passport, but I did actually notify the Australian government this week, that I would not be returning, and so hence I'm no longer eligible to vote in Australian elections. So,
you had to take a Manx test though, what's that about?
Indeed, yes.
Well, answer
24 questions. So 24 questions about... to ensure that I know enough, right? And so some of the questions are bizarre, and so quite, you just have to, like, as long as you're a functioning human, you can get them right. So, for example, one of the questions was, I don't remember the exact word, but something to the effect of, what is a fundamental principle of British life? Is it A, not eating fish on Fridays, or B, having respect and tolerance for other people? Okay. And so, but then there are also some tough questions.
But it also costs money. I mean, it's not cheap to become a Manx citizen or whatever you want to call it.
Almost £1,300. It's
and that just goes into the coffers, is it?
Yeah. Wow. Government does well for this.
Let's talk about some things that have taken your interest. The promenade and the ongoing road works. Well, they're now underway. Your take on that?
Sure. It staggers me on two levels. First of all, that you have a whole series of roadworks all throughout the island, all progressing very, very quickly, very, very slowly. So, these things that are harming residents, it's harming businesses. This seems like makes no sense to me. Let's do one at a time, get it over and done with, move on to the next one. So instead of disrupting the whole island for months and months and months.
Well, the original plan was like 10 years, so it has come down. I mean, it's November next year, I think it's going to be finished, or something around there. So.
Do you want to bet that it's done by November next year?
Right, I've heard things that they've really got to get it done or something. No doubt there'll be something in the clauses to say, who knows. But, so it's slow.
Firstly, it's slow. You have a million. What do you call them? The witches' hats. The traffic cones everywhere.
All brand new as well, weren't they?
I tell you what, the traffic cone supplier must have been doing very well.
Yes. But anyway, it's an ongoing story, and it's been fascinating to follow it.
And it's harming businesses. I'm hearing from business along the prom that they're being harmed. Sure. It's also harming cyclists and pedestrians. That they've moved a whole lot of parking onto the walkway. Then you can't fit cyclists through. And in 2019, why are we discouraging cyclists? It makes no sense. This is a government that is really needs to take a good hard look at its priorities. We need to be doing more to encourage cycling. On one hand, they want to have all these subsidies and these financial inducements to cycle, but on the other hand, they're stuffing up the infrastructure. It makes no sense.
Well, the best shot's yet to come on the prom when the coaches have to stop outside some of those hotels to get the old people off. Or if they don't stop on the prom, if they stop on the prom, there's going to be no traffic getting through for goodness how long. But if they stop way up, then these older people are going to have a fair walk to their hotels. Yeah. So we're looking out for those pictures in the next couple of weeks, I believe. The post office also ongoing dispute. Technology, moves on. You work in technology. What's your take on it?
Sure. So there's two things. First of all, from the point of view of our society, we need to get our mail delivered. And so I think it's really disappointing that Julie Edge, as the chairman of the post office, has failed to manage this issue. In that she's paid by the Manx taxpayer as the chairman of the post office. She gets a nice little bump on her salary. Yet the metric of success is our mail getting delivered? And so there's a dispute. And I don't want to get into the details of the dispute, but fundamentally, it's on her. She's the boss. She needs to take responsibility for getting our mail delivered.
I'm not quite sure she gets a bump. I think in departments they get bumps, but I don't know if chair people get bumps.
The chairperson of the post office does. Right. And if she's taking the extra money, then and taking the extra responsibility.
She's just carrying out Alf Cannon's orders, don't you? Going to get that impression? I must say Alf Cannon, the Treasury, have kind of put the stipulations on.
Well, then fundamentally, we all know that in 2019 and in the future, there's likely to be more email and less post. And so they need to manage this. And this is what they're paid for. This is their job. The core job of the chairman of the post office should be that our mail's getting delivered. And if there's strikes, it's disappointing there's strikes, and it's disappointing that it has descended to this. But at the end of the day, that's their job.
Mm. It's quite bizarre, isn't it? That obviously the mail is going down, which is totally and utterly a Royal Mail proviso, but all the Amazon packages can be delivered by various different groups, which is on the increase, isn't it?
Yeah, there's more competition, and there will be more competition, and the post office needs to, as an organisation, needs to adapt to this in some way, and so that's why, we elect people to serve to get the job done. And so when you can't get no mail delivery at Valentine's Day, that's a failure of the system. It's a failure of the post office. The post office is a combination of obviously the management, but also the workers. And if those management and those workers are not getting the mail delivered, then that's a fail. Now,
you, an Isle of Man citizen, have you ever got any ideas on taking a political stance yourself?
No, so I'm not an Isle of Man citizen yet.
No, so do you ever have any thoughts about getting involved in?
Don't know about that. That's I'm not running.
You're not running at all. Okay, yeah. It's interesting. But you love the Isle of Man.
Yeah,
welcome to.
I think there's I think it's wonderful that people serve in different parts. And I'm keen to serve the Isle of Man. But no, when the time is right, maybe we'll see. But,